Observe, observe, observe light, gestures, behavior, environment. This will help you. Never start shooting right away.
Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Photography Radio. My name is Tomasz, and today you are listening to Beyond the Frame with Olaf Sztaba, where he challenges you to take visual risks and think differently about your photography. Honest, bold, and unapologetic. Typical Olaf. Enjoy.
Can you imagine your life without photography? No? Then you will love this show. And it doesn't matter if you're a DSLR, a mirrorless, or a mobile phone shooter. We're here to help your photography grow. This is Photography Radio.
Hello, my photographic friends. How are you? How is your photography? Now, one of the greatest things about photography, at least for me, is meeting new people. But there is something even better than that. Meeting and photographing them. Well, I know what you are going to tell me. Come on, Olaf, but I'm so shy. I want to get close. I want to get attentive. I want to shoot this great portrait, but I'm terrified. I hear you. Trust me, I hear you, my friend. If you believe or not, I'm also shy. For me, getting out and photographing people on the street is still a major undertaking. You cannot believe how many fantastic portraits I did not take, how many people I failed to approach because I just couldn't do it. Just to be fair and honest, I'm now much better in this. Part of the problem that I see is that there is so much misinformation about this very issue. I have to admit, I was never a fan of those undercover techniques used by some photographers. It's not that I criticize it or complaining. It's just not my approach, and it's not my comfort level to do photography this way. In recent months, actually, I have been taking more and more portraits, mostly on the street, and I have to admit I really enjoy this experience. Many of you have asked me about this issue and how do I do it? Do I have any advice? So I decided in this podcast share with you a few thoughts about this fascinating process, which I admit this is what I do. It may not work for every and single one of you, but hey, just maybe you will use something. Here is the first big lie. We are afraid to approach people because we are thinking they don't want to be approached or even worse, photographed. Wrong. Actually, most people want to be photographed, and if approached properly, they actually enjoy it. Can you believe it? You know, this notion, I think that it comes from our insecurities, not necessarily from the fact that people don't want to be photographed. Of course, some people will say no to you when you ask for a permission, but it doesn't mean they don't want to be photographed. They may be busy. They may be feeling the same insecurities as you do when you ask. That's why they say no. In fact, sometimes what I do, actually, I strike conversations with these people. And when you talk to them for a while, you quickly find out that it's not true. The only reason they say no, because they think they will fail you. So Of course, some people say no, but maybe they are genuinely busy or in rush or simply too shy like us. And if this happens, you should not take it personally. Don't force them on take the photo anyway. So that's my first point. Here's another. Always introduce yourself and have your camera clearly visible. This is very important. State your intentions and how you will use the images. You know, in the worst case scenario, have some kind of business card or contact information ready. More information you provide, the more likely you will get the confidence. Another thing, and this is very important. You need to observe your subject and have some visual ideas before you ask for permission. Think about it. You approach somebody, you ask for a permission, and then this person turns to you and will say, "What do you want me to do?" And then you panic. You don't know what to do. You don't know the light. You don't know what you want to do, how to pose the person or how to direct the person, because you have absolutely no clue. So most of us just take one photo out of, we are stressed out, we say thank you, we go home, we look at the image and we say, oh shoot, this is so bad. So don't do it. Prepare yourself. Think what you want to do. Look at the direction of the light. Look at some kind of background. And the more you know before you ask, the more comfortable you will become later. So in other words, take your time before you ask. Observe light, gestures, behavior, environment. This will help you. Never start shooting right away. Think about it. If somebody asks you for a photo, you usually try to look good. So the first 30 seconds up to the 1 minute, people try to really pose. But once 1 minute passes or more, they get bored. They go back to their own activity and then you can shoot. Here's another advice. Once you ask for permission and the person said yes, take your time. Permission was granted. I see this mistake happening all the time. You know, we ask for permission and we think somehow that we are invading somebody's privacy. But I want you to think about this slightly differently. After all, when you think about it, if somebody said yes, you should be right now in control. And by rushing things, you are showing this person that you don't know what you are doing. And that gets me to another point. Explain what you are doing. You know, sometimes I photograph a person and I know it's not working. And I'm just trying different things or changing settings on my camera. Don't stand like a idiot and play with your camera for 2 minutes and the other person, your subject, is wondering, does this person even know how to shoot a camera? Don't do it. Explain. So, for example, I would say something along those lines. You know, I love the light. It's really going to be beautiful portrait. I need to change some settings on my camera just to make it even better. You know what? And that's fine. And this person looks at you and thinks, well, it looks like it's a professional. This person knows what is doing. My last point, and there are many, but again, I will get into trouble with Tomasz, so I have to finish this. Once you ask a person for permission and you start crafting your image, forget about this person. You need to focus on crafting the background, the space around the person. keep in mind the subject is in front of you. You have a subject at any time you want. But what we often do, we are so excited about our subject that we forget about everything else. And look, you walk around New York, or San Francisco, or London. There are so many subjects walking around. So make sure if you ask somebody for permission, you actually know what you are doing, okay? Yeah, so that would be it for today. So please remember, there is nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you. People love to be photographed. Even if they say no, I bet they would like to be photographed, okay? So let me leave you with a quote, My Photographic Friend, by Edward Steichen, okay? The mission of photography is to explain man to man and each to himself. And that is the most complicated thing on earth. The mission of photography is to explain man to man and each to himself. And that is the most complicated thing on earth. So thank you so much, my friends, for listening. As always, please go to the photographyradio.com website, leave us some feedback. Also, I would like to mention that in March, I will be running the Visual Poet Experience workshop in San Francisco. You will find more information on the visualpoetexperience.com website. And if you would like to join me and create some great imagery, you are absolutely welcome. So, we will meet next week. Have a wonderful week, and until next time.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hit subscribe on your podcast app. It would mean a lot for us to have you as our regular listener. Head over to photographyradio.com to drop your suggestion for future editions of Photography Radio, or simply to say hello. We would absolutely love to hear from you. In the meantime, have a wonderful night, and we will be back with more photography in your ears very soon.